If you want to succeed on YouTube these days, make a lot of money, get a lot of views, it seems like all you have to do is just create lies and YouTube will really promote you. Now, I don't know if some of these people are buying ads and promoting themselves, and YouTube hasn't caught up with the lies, but oh boy, the lies surrounding the Diddy trial. Sean Puffy Combs, we know his federal trial is going on right now, and there are a lot of great YouTubers out there. I'll mention some of them. Pam, the law intellect, spent a ton of money, I'm sure, purchasing the actual court transcripts. She's giving us the real news. She's a lawyer. But have you heard of her? Maybe only a small percentage of people have heard of her. She's spending her time going live, reading the court transcripts to us. That's how I've been kind of keeping up with her, with other news, valid news like her, like attorneys or people who are actually in New York who've actually stood in line and made it into the trial to let us know what's truly happening. However, if you're out here and you're not paying close attention to the trial, you might have believed some lies. One viewer asked me about the other day, really intelligent man. He's like, did you hear? They played a recording of Prince at Diddy's trial. And I'm like, no, they didn't. I'm sorry, that's fake. There's another video. Usher was in the courtroom, or 50 Cent was in the courtroom. Puff Daddy was screaming all this stuff. And I have to correct people and say, no, those are blatant lies. And people are unfortunately falling for these videos. All you have to do is put Diddy in YouTube, in the search engine, and you can filter it by just today's date, for example, and the view count, and you'll see what's popping up. The first thing that pops up as I film this, 1 minute ago, Usher breaks down in court, reveals what Diddy did to him at 14. That video has gotten nearly 900,000 views in 8 hours, beating an ABC News video, Diddy Trial Day 6. Cassie Ventura's former best friend takes the stand. Now, of course, I believe the ABC News video over this Usher supposedly breaks down in court video using, the AI kind of crafted photoshopped thumbnails where Diddy's looking all gray and, frowning, and Usher's looking like he's crying, and there's a background like they're in court, and, Diddy has on his orange jumpsuit. All lies. My question is, why is YouTube promoting these lies so hard? I know so many excellent YouTubers. We can call them out. We know our favorites, but people who are retired detectives or ones who are active detectives, current lawyers, lay people like me who just learned to love true crime and learned to research. In fact, before I jumped on camera, I was like, I'm so exhausted. I've been following the case of the missing 2 children out of Nova Scotia, Lily and Jack Sullivan. I've been digging through all this dispatch audio again, trying to see what I missed, what happened during that first hour that the children went missing, what are the inconsistencies, digging. I know so many great YouTubers who go through and literally dig into court records, police dispatch, body cam videos. They go to the trials, they report accurately. However, it's so frustrating and crazy to see YouTube promoting obvious lies like these videos, and it makes you wonder, is this what YouTube wants? Will they only get rid of these obvious lies when someone really calls it out and says that is blatantly false? Now, it's one thing if a person tells you they're creating fiction, that's one thing, but some of these channels are literally fooling people. 1 minute ago, this was from a day ago, courtroom erupts as 50 Cent names rappers who slept with Diddy, and Diddy's looking like, oh no, and 50 Cent's looking all mean, and it's all fake. Boy, where did this start? When people start asking me, have you heard about what happened in court in Diddy's trial? The Prince audio, Usher, and there's a look on their face when I tell them like, no, that's fake. They're like, what? This is all made up? It's not like something fictionalized, some fake rapper or some story. There's nothing wrong with novels and fiction, but this is literally based on a trial that's going on right now, a true crime event that people are literally creating fan fiction around and fooling people deliberately because you can't have cameras in the courtroom. That's one reason I'm all for cameras in the courtroom. So I must just say there was no audio recording of Prince played at Diddy's trial. This is where the misconceptions kind of started. And some YouTubers are catching on like, whoa, that really worked for that other YouTuber? Well, let me go make up a bunch of lies too and see YouTube promote it. And the same token, I'm watching some other great YouTubers I really follow in the true crime world, and they're telling me how, oh, this video got demonetized. This other video I worked so hard on got demonetized. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I said wrong. In the meantime, if you go over to viewstats.com, one of the tools of Mr. Beast, I love it. For example, it shows this Usher breaks down in court video with, nearly 900,000 views. The estimated revenue since published is $4,400, and it's probably a lot more than that. Is YouTube kind of turning a blind eye and saying, we're going to promote this, and we'll push it out there because people want to see it? People are just shocked by these photoshopped, shocking thumbnails and shocking titles that are all lies, and they can't tell the difference because they're trusting these sites to give them valid information and not just make up stuff out of thin air. I kind of tracked it down to what I believe may have been the first video to spread these lies on YouTube about Diddy's trial. After all, this is court. When you're talking about someone in court, when you're talking about matters of life in prison, life or death, or what have you, you truly only want the facts, especially if it's a case we can't view it ourselves. That's why I love transparency. For example, the Idaho 4 trial, Brian Koberger, when he goes on trial, when he's in court, we can watch that online. We'll have video evidence. YouTubers can't necessarily come in and say, oh, do you know who burst into the courtroom when Brian was testifying and, make up all these lies. But since Diddy is in federal court, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. But YouTube isn't shutting it down. Oddly enough, they're promoting it. Whereas I'm watching the people who are covering some great true crime cases, whether it's Lily and Jack trying to get to that truth, or a plethora of other missing children, Suzanne Morphew case, a woman who was found not alive. There's so many great YouTubers out there, and I'm learning how, YouTube demonetized me for this or that, or I have to be so careful, or YouTube said I was bullying, or all these crazy things. And then this is what they promote. So there's a video titled Prince Last Diddy Recording Played in Trial. Prince was going to expose him. Now that was published on May 12th, 2025. It seems to have started this problem, and it kind of got the ball rolling because I guess other people are like, oh, well, that's the way to go. That's the new way to report on things. Now that video appeared on a channel called Culture Spill. Now that happened 7 days ago. It got 328,000 views. It started to get the ball rolling, and other channels, hardly anyone's unique or creative, some of these people on YouTube. And so if they see a person doing something, there's a trend, of course, to steal content or steal entire scripts. I know another great true crime YouTuber who had her entire video script just stolen and rehashed in some AI voice by some other channel. Anyway, this Culture Spill video, they're nearly at 200,000 subscribers. They have 700 videos, published over the last 2 years. I was surprised such an established channel would take such a risk. Now, the video's description reads in part, Prince Last Diddy Recording Played in Trial. Prince was going to expose him. So others just copied even the same title. But I'm like, what are they saying? If you actually watch the video, do you ever hear an audio recording purportedly of Prince played in trial? No. Now, what happens is any evidence truly presented in trial, and then it's released to the public. For example, the video we saw of Diddy dragging Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, down the hotel hallway. Or recently the photos of their freak-off guys were published on TMZ. And that's another thing. If Prince's audio was truly played in court, we would have heard it on TMZ. If Usher truly showed up in court, or 50 Cent showed up in court on the stand testifying about Diddy, we would hear it on TMZ. We would hear it on these huge mainstream media establishments. But no, what we hear in this video is someone saying, honey, I must say the names surfacing in Diddy's trial are already shocking, but Prince being on that list was definitely not on my bingo card. We know that Diddy used Prince's house for some of his wildest parties based on what Jason Lee spilled. Now, I noticed a lot of these, they'll put a little bit of truth mixed in with the lies, and that helps people believe them more. Now, this entertainment reporter did say that some of Diddy's parties happened at Prince's mansion or wherever, Paisley Park. I'm not sure if he's talking about Paisley Park or if that's even true, but that's what they include. They include these little news clips and they parlay it into saying something untrue. But here's the twist. What if Prince had the cameras rolling the whole time? He was known for being private, calculated, and always in control. They have these ironic disclaimers. While their thumbnails and their titles are so big and bold, Prince's last Diddy recording was played in trial. That's pretty definitive. To me, this is beyond clickbait. I mean, it truly is clickbait, but it's truly a flat out lie. It's kind of like, in a way, but worse, it's kind of like those true crime channels that showed up where they totally created some totally fictionalized case of, a dad doing something to his stepson, and it was in Colorado, wherever it was, and all the people were like, wait a minute. They were contacting their local reporters like, how come you guys didn't report about this case? And so real reporters started digging into the court records and seeing this never happened. There was no one in Colorado by this name, or this situation never happened. And YouTube did end up shutting down those true crime YouTube channels. But these have the disclaimer, oh yeah, the video is for entertainment and informational purposes only, and their role is to, where possible, debunk false claims and clarify what is true. That's what made me laugh. So that's why some people, if you read the comments, you'll only see the ones that haven't been deleted. You'll only see a few people are like, this is false. I can't find this anywhere else. Some people do their due diligence and they go and Google and figure out, wait a minute, no recording of Prince's voice was played in the Diddy trial. Usher and 50 Cent weren't in court. Now, Diddy's trial just started recently, and we know there was explosive testimony from his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. We know her mother is set to testify if she hasn't already. Her ex-best friend was testifying. When you see the valid reporters reporting from the courtroom right outside or running back in, or the YouTubers who are doing a great job telling us what happened, like Tisa Tells even giving us, the whole emotions of it all. Rotten Mango, she's in New York. All these people who are working day and night, they deserve all these views. But the problem is, for some reason, YouTube is pushing some of the fake news, fake true crime news channels really, really hard. YouTube has to be promoting the heck out of this for it to just keep showing up in our feeds. If we search again, there it is. It hit 1 million just from me talking to you there. 1 million views in 8 hours. For this person, it could be $20,000 to spread lies that confuse people. So there are people walking around who are literally thinking, Usher testified in court today. They take a little bit of truth. There was one person who mentioned as a witness, she claimed she witnessed Puffy abusing or hitting Cassie. She mentioned Usher's name as being there or being in attendance or at the party or at the event. But what they're doing is taking that snippet and saying, oh yeah, Usher was there in court. And they're relying on the people who don't have a lot of time to follow up on real court trial news. Is this really what YouTube wants? If YouTube can, take down certain people's live videos if they hear the wrong word, or if they think someone is bullying them, or if they hear a copyrighted song, or, if you don't create enough fair use, and they'll demonetize YouTubers for reuse content or repetitive content, or they'll take certain videos down, or they'll age restrict certain things. And I'm all for that when it's valid, but then they're pushing stuff like this where you're just like, oh my goodness, what's the point of working so hard? But the point is, we work so hard to get to the truth because that's what we want to promote, not all these lies. And people are following suit. Courtroom shakes after audio drops of Diddy with Will Smith and Meek Mill. Breaking, new footage comes out, says the thumbnail. 471 views, nearly 500,000 views in a day. To me, it's sad if this is the trend, not only that people will create the lies, but also that YouTube is kind of like giving a nod to say, it's it's okay. It's okay. Even though it's a true crime case, it's reality. It's okay for YouTubers to create their own alternate reality. Don't tell their viewers that it's lies, but just say it's okay. Now, I'm all for AI. I don't mind artificial intelligence. It really helps in terms of voicing things. Sometimes people are tired, or it really can help. I mean, I love Google Gemini. It can analyze a nice PDF for you. There are great shortcuts. But if people are using these tools to literally fool the public, it makes it feel like someone's living in an alternate reality. Imagine all the people, the 1 million people out there who watched this video in the past 8 hours. Usher breaks down in court, reveals what Diddy did to him at 14. Imagine the 1 million people, and let's say half of them believed it, or even more. 500,000 people walking around just with the knowledge, oh yeah, Usher showed up in court today. So if YouTube keeps promoting this type of behavior, rewarding this type of behavior, taking advertiser monies, taking super chat monies from the people who are giving these folks super chats or thanks or whatever, thank you so much for this breakdown, literally falling for the scam and believing it, is YouTube not doing their due diligence because they know, oh, it's exciting, it's shocking, it's fooling people, and we won't take it down? But on the other hand, they'll nitpick other people who are truly, really great YouTubers out there. I mean, paying for court documents, doing the deep exposés. And yeah, they're not all flashy and, shocking and movie-like because it's more like truth. Is this the future of YouTube? I hope not. So once people saw that culture spill video on May 12th, it skyrocketed. The video was only 11 and a half minutes long, and the earnings were good. Maybe at least $1,500. If I were to check now, it would probably be closer to $2,000 or more. But to me, it's not a fairy tale. It's not fiction. It's very sad to me. Now, it's happening now during the Diddy court trial. And we've seen videos like this and you kind of know, okay, that one's totally fake. I know not to pay attention to that one. But when it's created on a level where it starts fooling people, combined with YouTube just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to the top of their algorithm, that's the scary part to me. Because what if people start doing this in the case of, well, they kind of already are. In the case of missing children, Lily and Jack Sullivan. A lot of us digging into the facts, trying to look at the RCMP page, trying to get valid facts from authorities, like what's really true, what's on the dispatch, what's in the announcements, what did they find, if anything, in the search today. And we're just patient. We're like, let's wait to get official word. Well, others are creating titles like, oh, the bad news found today, police announced, and you watch the video and there's nothing. No bad news beyond the children being missing. But the way it's titled and the way it's structured and the way it's promoted, it's very sad. So to me, it's scary that it's like YouTube is co-signing these creative liars who aren't telling you it's a lie. They say weird things in their disclaimers, but they never tell you, oh, it's a straight up lie. I've totally made this video up. They're saying, we believe in ethical and responsible reporting, aiming to present a balanced view by verifying information and sharing all relevant sources to the best of our ability. No wonder people are falling for all these Diddy court trial lies. And who knows how long his trial is going to go on, or what the next federal trial or another closed court trial will be that they'll latch onto and create a totally fictionalized story around. I mean, it's one thing if you interpret what happened, differently. That's one thing. For example, Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, definitely testified. We've seen the court transcripts. We have not, of course, seen her filmed, but we've seen her not in the courtroom. We've seen her enter and exit. You get those kind of photos from real journalists, AP News or whomever catch her. Okay, now it's one thing if people interpret her testimony one way. Oh, some people might have thought Cassie was really strong and she was great. She told the truth. Other people might create a video saying, well, I criticize Cassie for whatever. Now that's one thing. Those are different shades of gray. But it's a whole nother ballgame to create a complete lie, saying people took the stand who never took the stand, and mixing it in with a true current trial going on, and YouTube sending it to the top. It's probably on the trending page by now. So they're mixing in some truth with complete fiction, and I think that's why some people are falling for it. That's my biggest question. Why does YouTube promote obvious lies in the true crime world? That's so dangerous to me. I don't want this to be a trend where people pick up on, the real life pain. We already get criticized for, you're on here talking about real life pain. People are in real life pain. People trying to raise awareness for missing children or what have you. What's the next step? Will people glom onto the cases of missing children and then make up complete lies and say, oh, they were found here, or, oh, this person got arrested for their disappearance, or, and then will YouTube send that to the stratosphere and give it 1 million views? And I can't even imagine being a person's loved ones reading that kind of stuff. So other channels have picked up on it. Star Snitch picked up on that culture spill video, Prince's last recording about Diddy played in court. I don't even think they changed the title, just put parentheses around, he was ready to expose him. That went on 2 days later, May 14th, to get more than 446,000 views. It's probably up a lot more now, earning thousands of dollars. That video is 14 minutes and 18 seconds long. Again, the description is like, in today's spine-chilling update, the courtroom goes silent as Prince's final recorded words about Diddy are played aloud, leaving everyone stunned. So there's people out there imagining this in their minds like, okay, this is what happened. I don't know, gone are the days of learning who, what, when, why, where, trying to get the truth to the best of your ability, digging into courtroom trials. Courtroom transcripts can be so expensive. I don't know how much Pam, the law intellect, might have paid for those transcripts. I know one of my Patreon members asked me, maybe you can get those transcripts. And I was telling her before the trial even started, they're so expensive. I can try, but for example, I've covered the case of Sidney Powell, the college student, unfortunately, who took her mother's life in a violent way. I covered that case. I tried to get her transcripts. They wanted $4,000. I can only imagine in the Diddy trial how much they cost. We have this lawyer, Pam, a lot of people out there working hard, purchasing transcripts, trying to, I'm sure, recoup her expenses. And does she get promoted anywhere near by YouTube the way these others are being promoted just so she can recoup her expenses? No, the liars are being raised up here making thousands and thousands of dollars based on lies. And then the people trying to bring you the truth sometimes don't get the same promotion. And I just hate that. It's just horrible. If you take the time to actually watch these videos that are claiming, oh, Prince's audio played in court, you will notice that they've just kind of hobbled together news clips, Prince here, maybe Diddy here, and it's all like conjecture. What if Prince's audio was played in court? It's crazy. There's other channels. Another one called Scream posted a video titled Diddy collapses in court as last audio of Prince played. And that's gotten 42,000 views for, smaller channels. If you just look at Diddy and just go down the YouTube search engine results for Diddy, you will see just how many lies are being created and just how much it's being pushed to the forefront by YouTube. And my question is, why is YouTube doing this? Obviously, they have enough moderators and detectors, and they used to have, what did they call those guys? YouTube somethings, flaggers. They used to have YouTube flaggers, but they obviously have enough to moderate people who, when they're going live, if they say something, it's like, oh, that's bullying. Or, some stuff, of course, is automated and they look for certain words, not even telling certain people why they were demonetized when, certain people are just doing their live videos, just laying out the facts as best they can find them, and they're not even getting pushed as hard as others. Like Tisa Tells, she's great. She's literally went to New York. She was in the courtroom. She was working so hard. She would go in the courtroom. Some people had to stand out, of course, and wait to even get a space in the Diddy trial. In the courtroom, taking notes. Like Rotten Mango and her team, taking notes and coming outside. Tisa Tells going live, letting us know, okay, what happened today? For example, she's another person not being pushed as much as these fake videos are. And that's my question. YouTube obviously has enough flaggers or checkers or whomever to say, okay, we're going to demonetize this video, that video someone might have worked so hard on to get valid facts. But all these other guys, they're obviously not being demonetized because they just keep creating all the Diddy fakeness. They see the loophole. And the question is, when is YouTube going to close the loophole? I'm all for free speech. I'm all for creativity. There's nothing wrong if someone would have just titled a video, "What if they played a Prince recording at Diddy's trial? What would that have been like?" Or if someone would have made it clear, "This is fake. This is my imaginings of what the Diddy trial could have looked like." To me, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's still not good to do, I feel like. I don't know how you feel about fan fiction based on real, true crime trials. I mean, there's obvious pain, there's real victims, there's real people involved. But at least if they delineated, I'm just creating some video based on, my imaginations about what could have happened at the Diddy trial. At least they wouldn't be misleading like a million people into thinking some witness showed up in court today who did not show up. Just the implications of it all, I hate to see how far it can go. If people are saying, "Oh, it worked with the Diddy trial, let's try it with a different trial," what have you, or a different crime case, or a different missing persons case. If they're like, "Let's just glom onto this, create a complete lie because they know it'll get views and YouTube will promote. I don't know. What does this say for the state of true crime and court trials? And we know to stick to the people who have valid proof, the people who cite their sources, the people who you can see literally there at the trial. Rotten Mango, Tisa Tells, many others standing outside, the ones we know have flown to New York and are in there, or the people like Pam, the law intellect, who, she literally puts the court transcripts on the screen. She's a lawyer, she's valid. People like that, we search and dig for the truth. And my whole point is, what is YouTube doing? I don't get it. Why are they so blatantly promoting lies? Do they not care that it's a lie, or have they just not caught up with it? Some of the channels, of course, are newer, some not so new, jumping on the Diddy bandwagon. Just let me create pure fiction, and I know I'll get views because YouTube is promoting it. Is YouTube saying, okay, we don't care, because if we push this video and get it to 1 million views, we can take a lot of that advertiser revenue and just split some of it with the YouTuber, but we're all in the money, and if no one knows the wiser, are they saying it's okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. I would just rather work hard, dig, and get to the truth instead of ever creating some fictional video based on lies, based on a true crime court trial just to get crazy views. It can't last, and it's not right. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. I should have put, do not bear false witness, because that's literally what it's doing. Bearing false witness, saying someone showed up in court who wasn't there. With these same kind of people, would they show up in an actual court trial and say something totally untrue? It just makes you wonder how far people would go to just make money, to get views. At this point, it almost looks like YouTube is colluding with them. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they haven't caught up with it. But I tell you what, it's very frustrating to see people like me and so many great YouTube creators I know, working really hard, working really diligently to try and get to the truth. It's better to not say anything at all if you don't even know the truth about what's going on with the Diddy trial, or at least do your best to research and get any facts, get the transcripts, get whatever you can, and then present that to your viewers. Yeah, that's hard work. It costs money. It takes time, but it's really weird and ironic that a group of people are like, we don't have to do any of that. I can just think up something crazy in my mind, create a video, put an AI voice over it, and say, create these outlandish thumbnails, which I don't like it because to me it changes the story. There's nothing wrong with presenting things well and being dramatic, but already someone saw a screenshot, a thumbnail of Lily and Jack Sullivan's mom, Malaya Brooks Murray, and I could tell right away because I've watched her interview. She's only given one. I didn't see her cry at all. I saw her kind of get upset, maybe a little, but I didn't see her cry. I saw someone, it looks like they altered their thumbnail to make it look like she was crying. And already someone was saying, see, she was crying. And I'm like, well, I believe that's an altered thumbnail. Now, I get when people are trying to be creative. Of course, we all love creativity. They're trying to be expressive. They're trying to show her as a sad mother. But it's like bending reality. It's like creating an alternate reality where it's like showing something that didn't happen in a means of dramatizing it. So it's just weird. It's crossing a line, and I don't know where we're going to go in this line, but I don't want to be a part of creating lies. So that's what this video is about. Thank you so much for watching all my ranting. I'm going to get back to real researching and real studying and trying to get to real facts. But I just had to call out these crazy videos because they are literally fooling people. And even during Pam's live on Sunday, for example, the lawyer, she went through reading so many hundreds of pages. I mean, she had like a 300 and something page transcript of like Cassie's testimony. And she was able to rebuke or debunk when people would say, oh, what about this? What about that? She's like, well, no, the record says, she's literally going for the court's transcripts. Well, someone had asked her, well, Pam, what do you think about Prince's audio being played in court? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because she's a literal lawyer who is literally looking at the facts, but then there's this whole other outside YouTube world of people believing the lies of these YouTubers. And my question is like, why can't YouTube, they can quickly shut down others, demonetize others, take them down for bullying, criticize them or do this or do that to their videos. But it's like when such blatant lies occur and they're pushing them up to the trending list, I'm sure, giving them 1 million views and saying, kind of like a wink and a nod, and that's cool. It's not true and it's misrepresenting what went on in federal court. It's a complete lie, but that's okay. It's getting views. I mean, is that where we're going in YouTube true crime land? It's just so weird to me. Anyway, I'll end it here. I'm going to get back to my real research for real cases and not think about creating some fan fiction based on true crime. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care.